Hey everyone, I'm Manero here, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to draw with the most realistic pencils and graphite brush set currently available for Procreate. So let's jump right into it. In order to achieve this, I'm going to be using my new Pencilmania Brush Set for Procreate. This new set comes with 44 outstandingly realistic pencil and graphite brushes that were carefully crafted using traditional pencils on high-quality paper. The set also comes with a few different paper textures that are perfect to work with pencils and graphite, and they will give your pencil illustrations an additional touch of realism. You can find my Pencilmania brush set on my Gumroad page through the link in the top right corner of this video or in the description below. Before we jump into drawing something with these brushes, let's swatch them all, and I'll tell you a little bit about them. A quick reminder that you can see what brush I'm currently using at all times by looking at this rectangle right here. The first thing you'll notice is that the first 4 brushes in the list are called erasers. They are intended to be used with the eraser tool. These 4 brushes are based on 4 real erasers, and they will be great for erasing your pencils while giving you a very similar experience as if you were using the real tools. You can use them to erase gently to lighten up an already textured area, or you can press harder to erase with a cleaner edge. The next 9 brushes are the main protagonists of this set. I've worked really hard until I managed to fine-tune these 9 pencil brushes to behave just like the real ones, each one of them with their respective hardness and texture. By using these, you'll be able to get the most realistic range of pencil tones, from super light to medium to extra dark. You don't even need to change the color in the color wheel. By having pure black selected, each pencil brush will take care of the right tone for each hardness. All of these brushes work with tilt, so you can use them in a natural angle to draw lines, or you can tilt your Apple Pencil to get a wider stroke that will help you with shading just like you would do with a real pencil. They all work with pressure as well, so you can press gently to get a lighter tone or harder to get a darker one, depending on which pencil brush you're using. The rest of the brushes in this set are what I call pencils with superpowers, because they will speed up your process and do things that would be impossible to achieve with real pencils, without spending a lot of your time. For example, the next 5 brushes will allow you to shade your drawings with different pencil scribbles with just a few strokes. By the way, all of the brushes in this set can be used with the smudge tool as well, so they work great for blending your pencil marks. The next 5 brushes are pencil shaders. With them you can shade large areas with a real pencil texture in a matter of seconds. And of course you can use them with the blending tool as well. If you own my cross-hatching brush set for Procreate, the next brushes will look familiar to you, but they are not the same. While my set called the cross-hatching experience focuses on classic cross-hatching techniques made with ink, the next brushes in this set allow you to apply cross-hatching techniques using real pencil marks. With the pencil hatch brushes, you can control the direction of the lines with your strokes. Then with the straight hatching and the messy hatching brushes, you can control the direction of the textures by rotating the canvas. It's a great way to accumulate the hatching textures and gradually achieve different densities. The final 4 brushes will allow you to do some cool shading based on what you could get from using the side of a graphite stick. These are great for blending using the smudge tool as well. Now let's do a full drawing using these brushes from start to finish. For this I found this nice photo portrait by Sandro G photography on Unsplash that I want to use as reference. I will leave a link in the description in case you want to follow along. The first thing we need to do is to import a paper texture from the ones that are included in this set. I'm going to choose the one called Recycled Paper Texture 1 for this portrait. This layer needs to be placed on top of everything else in the layers menu, and the layer mode needs to be set to multiply. This will make the paper texture visible through anything that we draw below. Then I create a new layer and I place it below the paper texture. This is where I'm going to start sketching. Using the HB pencil brush, which is my preferred pencil for sketching, I'm blocking the main shapes and proportions of the head and the face. Notice that I'm not dealing with any details at all. I'm using super basic and geometric shapes to put everything in place. Think of it like solving a puzzle. Solving a puzzle that is only made of 8 or 10 pieces is way easier than solving a puzzle made of 500 pieces. When we leave out all the details at first, and we only focus on simple shapes and general masses, we are making the first stages of the portrait way easier for us. We can slowly start to deal with details as we progress, which would be the equivalent to finishing a 10 pieces puzzle first, then doing a version of the puzzle with the same image but with 50 pieces, and then doing a final puzzle with the same image but with 500 pieces. So as my sketch is more advanced, I can start defining the main details, like the features in the face. Notice how I'm leaving the hair area as a single mass. I also sketch the clothes very quickly so that I don't get tempted to detail it too much. I can also use one of the eraser brushes to clean up my sketch a little bit. Now I can work with different pencils to start shading and rendering the face. I begin with the area around the eyes, because the eyes always get more attention in portraits. Alternating between different hardness of pencils really makes your life easier, because it's way easier to make lighter shading by using a 9H pencil than with an HB. This way I can adapt all the time to the type of shading I need just by switching the brush. I also help myself to blend some of the shading by using the same brushes with the smudge tool. And I'm not afraid of using one of the eraser brushes every time I want to fine-tune my drawing. Using the 6B pencil allows me to draw with darker marks without any extra effort, and this is great to define some parts better, like the line of the mouth, the nostrils, or the eyes. Now switching to the pencil scribble brushes, I can quickly add a bit more variation of strokes to my shading, making the pencil portrait look more authentic. These pencil scribble brushes are great to do the hair. You can see how the scribbles make these pencil marks look like this girl's curly hair, and it only took me a minute or two to give the impression of the hair, instead of having to painfully cover all this area with the small tip of a pencil, if I had to do this on a real piece of paper. Using the smudge tool with the scribble brushes allows me to blend some of those strokes to make them look more natural, and I can use the eraser brushes to help me define the edges of the whole mass of hair. Using the regular HB pencil brush, I can add a few details in the hair to make it look more realistically hand-drawn. I switch between the drawing and the eraser tools with the same brush to add a few hair strands to complete the hair. Now I'm detailing a bit more the lips. Then I give some attention to defining the eyebrows. The whole process is just a matter of alternating between the different pencil brushes to adjust to the level of texture and darkness you want to have in your tones, and focusing on rendering the portrait as a whole, without working too much on details more than the essential ones, which in a portrait that means the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, but especially the eyes. If you get the eyes right, you already have the most important element in your portrait. To make the clothes and the necklaces, I'm using different pencil shaders and pencil hatching brushes to quickly give an impression of their shapes and volumes. I can also use the eraser brush to add the silhouette for the main necklace, and then add shadows to it, working with the pencil brushes. I'm trying to keep the other necklaces fairly simple by representing them with just a few pencil marks. It's important to not deviate too much attention from the face in a portrait. At this advanced stage, I like to zoom out and give some extra work to everything that I feel it can be improved or defined a little bit better. As a final touch, I like to create a new layer on top of the paper texture, and using white, I add a few highlights on the most important areas to make them pop, like in the eyes, the tip of the nose, and the lips. This works especially well with the toned papers included in this set. And this is the final result. I really hope you liked this video. If you use my brushes and post your art on social media, feel free to use the hashtag Manero brushes so that I can see what you create. I will be extremely happy to share your creations with my audience. Don't forget to subscribe for more art-related videos and give me a thumbs up. Also, make sure to check out my Gumroad page, where you will find the Pencilmania Brush Set for Procreate and many other sets that I have available. I'm sure something will suit your artistic needs. All the links are in the description below. Okay, thank you for watching. See you next time.